Welcome to another edition of GrokTALK, brought to you by GrokTALK and Grok Media, LLC, based in New Hampshire, but viewed and loved all over the world. On today's show, we're talking a little bit about the No Kings protests that happened over the weekend. I'm sure you couldn't have missed them, but would it surprise you to know that everything from the LA riots to the anti-ICE protests to these No Kings rallies is the work of a pro-China, anti-American billionaire whose name is not George Soros? We're going to dig just a little bit deeper into who this is. GrokTALK starts in less than 60 seconds. Not everyone can get up every day and look for ways to piss people off. But here at GrokTALK.com, we do that almost every day. I can't tell you how many times someone's lost their SHIT and threatened to end us. But we're still here, pissing people off. It's almost like we enjoy it. And we've been doing it since 2006. That's almost 2 decades of news, politics, and opinion, and now podcasts, and we're just getting started. We believe in principles before parties and politicians. We defend free markets and individual liberty, and if that makes you mad, it makes us smile. We're like Grandma after she stopped caring what other people thought. If that sounds refreshing, you need to check us out. This is Steve McDonald for GrokTALK, and we'll keep shining the light on them for you. Yes, Soros is involved. How could he not? He is as invested in the downfall of America as the mullahs. But this guy, the one we're talking about today, lives in China, loves China, thinks China is the it girl of the 21st century. And according to Wikipedia, Neville Roy Singham runs a consulting business with partners in the propaganda apparatus of the Chinese Communist Party. Singham is a socialist benefactor of far-left causes and an admirer of Maoism. According to the New York Times, he has provided significant funding for media outlets, organizations, and politicians around the world to promote pro-Chinese government propaganda. Singham praised Hugo Chavez in The Day, describing Venezuela under his rule as a phenomenally democratic place. He is also quite the admirer of China. Singham is linked to funding pro-China narratives all over the world. From the Hindustan Times, a remarkable, typical international handmade media outlet. Born in the United States in 1954, Singham studied economics at Howard University before launching a successful career in software engineering. In 1993, he founded ThoughtWorks, an IT consulting firm specializing in customized software development and digital transformation services. Under his leadership, the company grew into a global industry leader, earning Singham a spot on Foreign Policy Magazine's list of the top 50 global thinkers in 2009. According to ThoughtWorks' official website, Singham sold the company in 2017. According to the New York Post, in April, the Senate Judiciary Committee called on the Department of Justice to investigate the People's Forum and Code Pink, activist organizations linked to tech entrepreneur Singham and his wife Jody Evans. Though based in Shanghai, the couple reportedly channels substantial funding to U.S.-based leftist groups. Despite denying ties to the Chinese government, they are under scrutiny for their association with the Meiku Group, a pro-Beijing propaganda outlet, raising concerns about foreign influence in American political discourse. His wife Jody runs Code Pink. So, Singham is obviously the money behind Code Pink. Now keep in mind, before I get to the next thing, here we have another really, really wealthy guy who made all his money in the American Republic, thanks to capitalism. And then he left with his money, went overseas, got in tight with communists, and now he's spreading their message, which would what? Make it impossible for anyone to ever compete with the political and the elite class. That's priceless. So, part of the expression of this activism, like Code Pink, for example, just went to Cuba on a little flotilla. We shared a clip of Greta, I think it was last week, on the Morning Update, in which she was talking about how they were going to bring aid to Cuba. That's got to be the worst Greta Thunberg impression ever. Singham's the money behind that little freak show, and how did that go? New York Post. Convoy of socialists, including streamer Hassan Piker, the daughter of Rep. Ilhan Omar, members of Code Pink and lefty Irish hip-hop group Kneecap, is in Cuba with the goal of supporting Cuba's oppressive communist regime. You will, of course, remember that Mr. Trump has drawn the line in the sand with Cuba and its government, and it means something. Unlike the Obama administration, when it draws a line in the sand, you're meant to cross it. With Mr. Trump, that could get you a midnight raid and a nice 6x6 cell, or possibly a date with death. That's how Mr. Trump's red lines work. But back to the article. But Piker and others have been dogged by criticism for staying in a 5-star hotel in Havana, and Kneecap played a concert in the capital city as the rest of the nation of 11 million people faced yet another major blackout. The Nostra America convoy sent in socialists from North America and Europe to Cuba under the guise of handing out 20 tons of humanitarian aid to protest the U.S. oil blockade on the island. Also along for the ride is a 23-year-old Isra Hirsi, the unemployed activist daughter of embattled squad member Rep. Ilhan Omar from Minnesota, as well as a delegation of Mamdani's Democrat Socialists of America comrades. Meanwhile, these hundreds of communists from around the world are feasting on lobster tail and treating Cuba as an ideological theme park, he said. Some delegates were reportedly staying at the 5-star Grand Hotel Bristol in Cuba, where a room costs between $130 and $520 a night. Communists, I would have to say, this is interesting. Communists don't have any money, right? They're not allowed to have property. They don't have anything they can call their own. So, I mean, that's the selling point, right? The property is communal. And of course, we know how that works. Everybody at the top owns everything, has all the money, and everybody else has to live in squalor and shit. And so they go there. I mean, how else could this have turned out? They show up. Code Pink, remember, Singham's wife runs that. Singham funds it. Communist China, these are the people. This is their mission. Spread the good word of Communist China. Save Cuba from America, from freedom and liberty and the opportunity to maybe start a business and make as much money as Neville. We wouldn't want that to happen. Neville doesn't need the competition. And so that's what those people are doing. And they're staying in 5-star. Bernie and his private jet. Oh, I have to. He has to fly in a private jet. He has to emit more carbon than anybody else on the planet. He has made excuses for his 3 homes. He's special. He's different. He's a commie. And that's all fine and good and fun to poke at. But Neville Singham is the money behind the No Kings protests. He's being investigated for funding the LA riots, and probably a few others. He has ties to all the communist organizations and funding them, apparently, and they're looking at that too. And their mission is not to make your life better. It is not to make your life more affordable. It is not to give you more freedom or liberty. It is to give you less of all of those things. And that's what the No Kings protests are about. So, Fox News, over nearly a decade, Singham has financed a constellation of activist institutions that promote revolutionary socialist politics and frequently collaborate in protest campaigns, including the People's Forum in New York, the Party of Socialism and Liberation, the Answer Coalition, and Code Pink, whose co-founder Jody Evans is married to Singham. These groups work closely with the Freedom Road Socialist Organization. They are all sending members to the protests, and one group said they plan to bring a message of revolution to the protests. On Friday evening at the corner of North Fremont Avenue and North 37th Avenue in Minneapolis, members of the Twin Cities chapter of the Party of Socialism and Liberation parked a car with stacks of bright red protest signs they had prepared at the Dream Shop for Saturday's demonstrations. They are part of the Singham Network and co-sponsors of the St. Paul protest, all of which brings me to my point. Democrats and their street urchins, their paid protesters, their army of angry white female liberals, mostly white, seems like they've been emptying out the nursing homes, the people they didn't kill during COVID, handing them signs to protest things. In New Hampshire, they're protesting the Free State Project, and they have no clue what that is. But we'll talk about that another time. And if you look at social media, it's top heavy with all these speeches and videos and images of these people who are basically Marxists and communists supporting the Chinese Communist Party, protesting on their dime to advance their messaging. And I would like you to reply in comments and challenge them directly. Okay? This is your mission. This is your homework assignment. You don't have to do it. You don't have to turn it in. You just have to go out and take these facts and share them with the rest of the world so that people in the middle who aren't really paying attention will go, oh, that's interesting. So, insert name here. Attended and spoke at a rally funded and promoted by socialists and communist groups, many with links to the Chinese Communist Party. China is a self-described enemy of America, the People's Republic of China. No protest, no free speech, no consent, no free will. That is what they've just attached their name to. That's what these protests are about. And the specific reference to no war, so they've added that, no kings, no war. Well, China's been gearing up its military for over a decade, maybe two. It is polluting the planet at an epic rate in excess of many other nations combined, including the United States. It is burning dirty coal, oil, gas, nuclear. It's even using some so-called green energy, anything they can get their hands on, to ramp up their military-industrial complex. To do what? Well, after Taiwan, who knows? But it is to engage in war. The problem, the reason why they need American idiots to protest the war in Iran, is that Iran is their ally. They need Iran's resources to fuel their military-industrial complex. They're building energy like crazy, but they still need Iran's oil and gas. That's why they're protesting no war. None of the people carrying those signs knows that. I doubt they even know what they're there for as far as no kings go. Because what is China but a one-party state? It is a state of monarchy, oligarchy. It is a kingdom where you don't have any rights. They're given to you by the state. And in the case of China, only if you do what the Chinese government wants you to do. You are not allowed to deviate. You are not allowed to have your own ideas. And that's what they're trying to protect. Any candidate in or for elected office who is at this rally is, intentionally or not, advocating this message with the lie that they're telling the world, we don't want kings. It's exactly what you want. Everybody knows it who's involved in politics and isn't on your side. And you're helping us come up with ways to share with everybody else the truth. And what is that exactly? Well, the Chinese government certainly appreciates your help, but I gotta be honest with you, if they take over in your lifetime, none of that'll make any difference. Because you're just a useful idiot. That's all you are. That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Slightly shorter version than usual. Have a great week. We'll be back next week, back with something insightful, entertaining, and even a little bit amusing. That's it for GrokTALK. We'll talk to you again soon.
GrokTALK.